broken?
It was open and I locked it.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Nope. I can't even get into my own parents' house. This is where everything started. Like Keen Ramps was born, like right here. This little zone.
Story.
And then this is also where I learned how to skate. So this driveway is really special. My parents can't ever sell this house.
If they do, you're
And
gonna buy
this
it.
is where Keen Ramps was born. This is where my skateboarding career was born. I learned to kickflip where you're standing.
Over this crack?
I figured it out.
You got
It took me like 5 tries. The code was the same forever. So yeah, this is my dad's garage. This is also kind of where Keen Ramps was born. So when I first started building ramps, I was using all his tools, obviously. He probably has like some of the original stuff I was using. I think this is the OG. Yep, this is the OG skill saw that built all the ramps. Like probably the first 2 or so years were made with this. No CNC, like everything was this.
What made you want to start building ramps? Besides the fact that you are a skater.
So I went to school for city and regional planning. I got a bachelor's degree, graduated 2008. And when I graduated, it was like that peak recession time. I applied to like, no joke, like 80 jobs. I got 1 interview, didn't get hired. So I was like, all right, cool. I just like spent a bunch of money, went to school for 4 years, and I can't get a job. I guess I'll continue to go to school. Got a master's degree. Then it was 2010.
Whoa, I didn't know you had your master's.
Yeah, I got a master's degree, also in city and regional planning. So that was all in San Diego. I was in San Diego for like 8 or 9 years. But then I came back here in 2011 because I got a job in Valencia, which is all the way by, you know,
Six Flags. Six Flags.
Yeah, so
That's
I was
far.
commuting to Six Flags from here. So like 2 hours each way. While that was going on, I just had this like quarter life crisis moment. I was like 25 years old and I was just like, I hate what I'm doing. I hate working in an office and I hate working like for someone. So I was like, I need to figure out how I can have my own business. And then I was just like, what kind of business would I want? I'm like, well, I love skateboarding. I've literally like, it's all I thought about since I was like 9 or 10 years old. So like, I want to have some sort of like skateboard company. I literally just like pen and paper wrote out what kind of skateboard company would I want. I was like, boards, clothes, no.
So did you even build ramps as a kid?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it took me a while to like figure that out, to like come back to that. So
Got
then
it.
at first I was like, I'll do skateboard lessons. I'll teach kids how to skate. And then I started thinking about it more and more. I was like, actually, I don't think I'm like that person. I'm not like that kid motivator guy. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to work with kids. And I was like, wait, the guys that take ramps around to teach kids how to skate, like where do they get the ramps? So I just like Google searched, you know, back in 2011, like skateboard ramps for sale, and like found a few companies doing it, and I was like, those are whack, that's too steep, that's dumb, that coping's too small. Just like kind of was like, nobody's like really doing this right. Like I should just build skateboard ramps. And it was like the light bulb moment.
I think the number one thing that makes us stand out is that I skate. I don't do this to make money. I do this because like I like skating and I like seeing people get hyped on skating. So that being said, anything that we make, I'm really meticulous about it.
I got laid off from that job, and then I was like, all right, cool. Like I want to end up like doing my own thing anyways. These are all the tools that I used in the beginning. And then I was living here and I was kind of just doing odd jobs. Like my buddy had a photo booth business. I was like helping him. I kind of worked for my dad's vending business and was like training some of his guys on like how to fill vending machines. And then I was kind of just like doing whatever. And while I was living here, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna start this ramp thing. And I just started like building ramps right here and then like put them on Craigslist. And just had Craigslist ads like quarter pipe, like $250 or whatever. Grind box, rail. I had my homie like weld a rail.
How did that do?
Surprisingly pretty well.
That's crazy.
Like, so then all of a sudden I had like 10 orders.
Dude, I forget how big of a thing Craigslist used to be.
Craigslist was hot then.
So
it was
hot.
like the shit.
It was before OfferUp, before Facebook
Yeah.
Marketplace.
So at that time I was doing that, and then I was like, okay, I kind of have like enough going on where like this is like a job. I'm like making some money. So then I made flyers and I put flyers at like all the local skate shops. and it literally just said like, I don't even think I called it Keen Ramps yet. I think I was just like custom skateboard ramps or handmade high quality skateboard ramps for sale. And it had like a picture of a mini ramp that I didn't build, a picture of a box that I didn't, it wasn't even things that I built. I was just like, I could build them. So then I just like started putting that at skate shops, and then people started kind of calling. Then Christmas rolled around. Then it was like, dude, I got like 30 Christmas orders.
That's sick.
So then I like hired my homie Nathan as like my first employee, and he and I would meet here Monday through Friday every day and just build ramps.
Damn. Crazy.
Oh, here's a fun one. The first ever logo.
Damn.
If you didn't notice, I don't have a background in graphic design. First ever brochure or postcard. There's the boxes we used to make, 2x4s, and I had my ugly little guy icon there. Spine, like mini ramp, masonite, like in some dude's garage. That is the first ever Keen Ramps mini ramp. 4 foot tall, 8 foot wide. Installed it in Anaheim Hills.
That is sick.
I had my cell phone number on there.
What was the first ramp that you ever built?
First ramp I ever built was,
Like the first one you built and sold, like the first customer ramp.
I think it was a box. It was
Okay.
a box like that. It was like a foot tall. It was like 2 feet wide. It was like 6 or 8 feet long. Like that was the first like person that bit on Craigslist and was like, yeah, I'll buy a box.
That's
and
cool.
I sold it for like, I don't know, $150 or something.
Damn, that's sick. At what point were you like, okay, this is legit, I can do this, and I'm making enough money to like not really go after anything else anymore?
As I was doing it here, it was still kind of like, maybe this is just a hobby side hustle thing. Like, I don't even know if there's enough people around here that want to buy skateboard ramps to like sustain me and employees.
Yeah.
So the whole time I was building here, it was like, okay, this isn't really a business that I'm starting. It was just like a fun thing, you know?
So you were kind of just doing it to like fill the time and fill your pockets a little bit until
Yeah,
the next thing came
until
along.
I figured something out. But then as, you know, a couple months went by, like maybe like 5 or 6 months here building with like 1 or 2 of my friends, or like random skate park homies would come over and help with a bigger project. You know, we're like running saws and impact drills, like thousands of screws over and over, like Monday through Friday. My neighbors got pissed and they were like, hey, like this isn't like an industrial zone. You can't just like build ramps here. Like it's annoying us. We have kids, like they can't sleep. And then my dad was super bummed. He used to actually store his boat right here. Now he has his little classic Austin Healey car, but like in that zone was his boat. You know, it's like his pride and joy, like very nice boat. And we're kicking up sawdust everywhere. So everything was just like getting covered in sawdust. You could like, you know, go here and just like your finger would be covered in it. So he's like, hey, I like your business and all, your little projects you're doing, but you should really think about like finding a place to do it. I'm like, am I getting kicked out?
He kicked you out of the
He
nest.
kind of kicked me out. So I was like, shit, that's when it became real. That's my weird long roundabout and like telling
Yeah.
you. That's when I was like, oh,
You're like, if I want to do this, I got to send it.
I'm gonna sign a lease and
Yeah.
like be on the hook for like $1,000 or more every month. Then it's real. Like
Yeah.
that's when it was like, oh shit, like I'm going all in. I'm going for broke.
Yeah, yeah.
And like so that was August. I signed a lease for August 1, 2012. So I started like looking.
Was that the original first spot?
The first shop.
No way. That's how long you were there?
That was the first shop.
Oh,
So I was there
wow.
for quite a while. Yeah, so then once I got there, I was just like, all right, well, guess I need tools because I can't use my dad's anymore. Like
Yeah.
he needs them for his own projects. So like, you know, bought a chop saw, bought a panel saw, bought like new skill saws and jigsaws and drills, and
How did you afford all this?
it was just like job to job. It was just like,
Oh, so you would just like go do a job, pay the rent, and be like, okay, well, if we had this tool, things would be easier.
yeah.
Whoa.
Basically, I was just like, okay, oh, got a mini ramp job, like made $3,000, and after paying materials and paying my guys, like I profited like $800. So then I'd be like, cool, I got $800 to like buy drills and whatever.
Were you still living here?
I was still living here.
Okay, so you didn't.
At least I didn't have rent.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was that.
But you had the lease at the other place.
Yeah. So it was just like, you know, figuring it out as I went, and then it was like we got like a bigger job where we had to like ship a pallet, and then I was like, wait, how do I ship a pallet? Like, I need something to pick. I need a forklift. All right, dude. I need a bigger truck because I had this little like Nissan pickup truck that was probably rated to hold like 800 pounds in the bed.
Damn.
And I would go over to the local Home Depot, and like me and my homies that were working with me at the time would like load it with 2,000 pounds of lumber and just weigh it down. There was one time we were coming down Rosecrans, and it was so weighed down that it was pitched down, and I think I put like milk crates under it to pitch it up, but they collapsed from all the weight, and like $2,000 of brand new plywood and 2x4 slid out to the intersection at Rosecrans and the 605, like busy intersection.
Damn, dude.
And it was just there, and they were like, fuck. So pulled over. We're like frantically trying to get it back in the truck. Other people are pulling over, helping us. People are honking. Like, they were just like livid.
Damn.
I felt like such an idiot. Yeah, basically like the garage is where everything went down. We tried to not like cut and do things to prevent the sawdust from going on all my dad's shit. So it was basically like right here. We would just like set up sawhorses, and this was like cut zone. And then we had like a chop saw maybe down there. Like, I'd have my parents, you know, get all their cars out of the driveway, and like this was our zone.
You're like, Mom, Dad, you guys need to move your shit so I can work.
Yeah, for real.
That's funny.
But to answer your question earlier, first ever ramp sale, I do remember it. It was this dude named Rusty. And oddly enough, so where I live now in Signal Hill, he has a shop down the street. He has a company called Digital Installers. He like has a bunch of trucks and guys that go around that hang TVs, do stereo system installs.
Oh, okay, cool.
Stuff like that. So he was my first ever customer, and I remember I like was so nervous, and I went to his house with like a clipboard and like a little stack of business cards, and you know, acted like, yeah, I built tons of ramps, you know. And he actually wanted a pretty involved setup. He was like, yeah, I'm thinking like quarter pipe here, box, like little like fly box thing, and then maybe a hip here and another little like quarter here. And I was like, a hip? Like,
you're like, I gotta build a skate park.
How do I build a hip? But he was like, you ever done something like that? I was like, yeah, totally. I built that before. He like gave me a deposit, and that was like the first money that Keen Ramps ever had. And then that like floated the next job, and then like I would save and buy things, and it just kept going. But then like when it got real and I was like in deep and had overhead and had employees and had insurance and had all these things, I was like,
you don't have a choice.
I'm in too deep. This has to work.
Yeah.
Dream, and I like saw the way my foot flicked, and I was like, that's what I'm doing wrong. And I came out here in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m. and just did a kickflip and then went back to bed. I remember being so excited. So like this used to be the back of the garage, and this was my dad's garage. This was all dirt, and then he had the concrete poured, and so I was so stoked because I was like, I had this like runway, I had this like buttery concrete right here, and I would just like put things on the ground, like, I don't know, there was like a bunch of hockey sticks here, and I remember I would just like, you know, throw something on the ground, figure out how to ollie over it,
Damn.
And then I'd like put it this way and grind a hockey stick, and
That's
like, yeah,
sick.
I didn't grind, 50-50. And then around that time, I was like 10 or 11, you know, my dad was always like handy, so he had tools sitting around, and he'd let me like build stuff. So I made like a bench here, I made like a launch ramp, I made a box.
Okay, so how long were you building ramps here though? Like how many years before it was like, all right, I gotta go get this shop?
I remember I started like right around like Christmas leading up to 2012. That's kind of why I say like Keen Ramps was born in 2012 essentially. So like let's call it New Year's. So from like January to like, I got the shop August 1.
In 2012?
Yeah.
So you weren't even here doing this a year.
I was here 6-7 months doing the early stages of like my business.
Wow. Okay. So it happened fast.
Yeah, it did.
So it was a quick from like I don't know if this is gonna work to like, okay, we're fucking in now.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and once I was like in and had to go get the shop, you know, I just like things kept like rolling, and then it was like people came out of the woodwork like, yo, I'm down to work with you. Like I just got laid off from my carpentry job. Like, all right, jump in. Just put some blinders on all the bullshit.
It's on your face.
This was my room growing up, and now
Oh, look at this door.
yeah, that's why what I wanted to show
Whoa,
you.
look at all these fucking stickers, dude. This one.
Yeah, OG Shorties, CCS. Dude, I was a big Wet Willie fan. This was like my home shop. Like, you saw how far we just drove right now?
Yeah.
I would skate here every day. I would get I would get home from school, and I would skate down the riverbed on this path, or ride a bike. Sometimes I would ride a bike and just throw the board on the handlebars, come here, stay here till dark, go home, like Monday through Friday.
That was the way, dude.
This was a spot. This place is really, really special. It's called the Gutta. Shout out Gutta Boys. It's like riding a bike. Alright, fun fact. Part of the reason I like got really into Keen Ramps and mini ramps is this mini. It's like 2 foot tall or 2 and some change, but it's like the perfect specs. It's so fun because before this park, all I wanted to do was like stairs, rails, street. I was like, oh, mini ramps are the shit. So this like developed my love for mini ramps. So the other special thing about this place, it's the first place I ever threw an event. Cause like once like Keen Ramps was a thing, I was like, oh, I gotta do an event. I gotta have like a thing and like have a bunch of people in a contest. So I threw a big event here on Earth Day. It was called the Narbecue. Narbecue flyer.
That's sick.
But there was probably like, I don't know, like 600-700 people. Like it was a big turnout.
What?
Yeah. It was like a
That's
big
so
event
many.
for like the first ever event we did.
600-700.
Yeah, and I hit up so many sponsors, and we had like
So this place was just packed with people everywhere.
yeah, like this whole like side was lined, this was lined. From that point forward, I just got the event bug, which is like why Keen Ramps does a lot of events compared to most of your other ramp companies. Because I love bringing people together and like creating that energy, and like that all started right here. So we are at the former Keen Ramps headquarters. It's the first place I rented in August 1st, 2012. I was here up until January of 21 is I think when I moved out of here. But this place is like very near and dear to my heart. There's still some Keen Ramps artifacts. The rail graveyard. So these are all rails from like old contests we built, like little Caesar's Palace. There's Rincon rails. There's that San Francisco State like kinked one. There's some other giant like blunt container. It says Cavicone. I don't know, some
Cali kids.
Cannabis company hired us to do something. But yeah, this is it. I like love coming here. I just like feel at home. What up? We're in here because it's currently the headquarters of my friend TJ Gaskell's company, Good Time Vans. So he retrofits like sprinters and anything really. Like he makes camper vans. He could build out an ambulance, but he creates vehicles into like campers and trailers and tiny homes and things of that nature. So when I got my current building and was in the market to get rid of this place, he was like, dude, that's perfect for me. So like the day I left, he came in, and actually I'm still on the lease for this place. He subleases from me.
Oh, wow.
Because in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't know, this place is like so special to me. I was like, I don't want to ever let it go. And just in case like TJ got over it or grew too big and needed something else, I'm like, if that day ever comes for you, like I still want this place. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I want it. So this it's like 1,000 square feet. It's got these 2 little tilt-up doors. We pretty much had like, we would set up a quarter pipe there and a quarter pipe here. We'd have sessions and just like skate it like a mini ramp. But yeah, so I was here for like, I don't know, 9 years. Yeah, like 8 or 9 years.
Wow, that's a long
here.
time.
So yeah, everything kind of went down in here. There's this spot over here. So this used to just be like a covering. It was literally just the top.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and then I asked my landlord, I was like, hey, would you care if I like make it into a little like makeshift room? He's like, nah, it's fine. So like, just put corrugated metal, made it into a room, put a door, put a roll-up door. And then we had like this other space. And then when we first got the CNC in 2020, I think it was, that was like the CNC room. When I moved out, TJ was like, I don't necessarily need like all of it. I was like, what if we like subdivide this for our other friend Ryan? So Ryan does recycled skate wood stuff.
Oh, he's here too.
That's why all these boards are here. So he degrips the boards.
Oh my
chops
god!
them up, presses them together, and makes things. Like he made like brass knuckles. He's made like drumsticks. He's made pool cues. Like he just makes random things that are beautiful, like works of art.
Because all 3 of you bought the Desert Ranch together.
Exactly.
And
So
like he's
me,
here,
Ryan,
TJ's here.
TJ
Yeah.
own the Desert Ranch together.
Dude, you got a little empire going.
So this place, like I told TJ, I was like, the grand vision is that like one day the landlord's like, hey, you've been here forever and your friends have been here. Like, I hope they want to sell it to me one day, which is funny to say. I tell my wife that and she's like, you're crazy. Like it looks like a junkyard. Like it's insane looking here. Like it's this weird no man's land, but it's just like, it has this like cool compound vibe and like, it's like this incubator of like rad skate friends businesses.
It's pretty dope.
The fact that like Keen Ramps was like, everything kind of started here. We used to do these things called Rig-a-Spot, where when I first got started, I was like, all right, I need to like drum up some interest and I need to like get people to just like notice us. And I was like, how could we do that? And I thought of Jeff King's Built to Shred. So I pretty much did my own Built to Shreds. And so we would just take a bunch of random obstacles to like street spots and just sort of retrofit street spots, like make Euro gaps or like do a bump up to a dock or put a pole jam somewhere, and we would do stuff like that. But we did one of the episodes here in the shop. We made a little stair set here. There was like a runway with like a 5 or 6 stair and a hubba.
That's sick.
But yeah, like, I don't know, this place is just rad. So a lot of like, just like crazy things have happened here over the years.
Brody Penrod though,
Brody Penrod used to live here in the corner. That little shed that I mentioned to keep things like not dusty. He was like, hey dude, I'm kind of like hard on money right now and I'm like getting kicked out of my place or my roommate's moving or something. Like, you think I could like stay at the shop? And I was like, I guess, like if you're down for that. So like he lived here. One of my other employees like lived in his car here. A bunch of homies have just like, I don't know, had one too many and parked here and had romantic nights with their flings. And
that's sick.
Like,
That's
just
sick.
So much shit has happened here. In the process of, you know, starting a small business and hiring friends, I've lost a lot of friends in the process. You know, like they're people that I grew up with and I'm like, hey, come work for me. And then they're like, oh, we feel like we're doing all the work and you're just reaping all the benefits. And I'm like, you're not the one staying up till 2 a.m. working on a website, figuring out workers' comp. Like, there's a lot behind the scenes. So I like, you know, butted heads with different guys that I've had on board over the years. But there was one dude and he kind of lost it on me one night and he came here all wasted and he like tried to fight me and he was like throwing shit. He just came here like livid, and this was his resignation, if you will. And he just like told me off and told me all the terrible things that he hated about me and how I'm running my business wrong and how like once he leaves, like it's gonna burn to the ground and all these things, all these nasty things. And he threw a 4x4 at me. There was like a 3-foot long 4x4. And I remember he like swung it at me and then he like threw it at me. And then thankfully another friend came and like kind of cooled him down. And then was just like, get out of here, I'll deal with him. And that was like a whole thing.
So you didn't retaliate?
No, like why? What would have come out of that, you know? Like I didn't have any gripe against him. You know, everything we're butting heads about is like business, professional, like he's my employee, I'm his employer. Like it's not a good look if I like hit him. So
yeah, that's true. Then he could have sued you.
That, yeah. And just like we shared a bunch of mutual friends, like, and who knows how miscombobulated that story could have gotten.
Right.
I'd rather be like the guy that took the high road and we're just like,
You don't want to be known as the guy that like, that's the boss who beats up his employees.
yeah. You saw the old spot, the one that's near and dear to my heart, and this is the current spot. I love this place. It's different though, you know? It's like over the years we've developed and we've gotten bigger clients and we do things for companies like Nike and eBay, and we've done Toyota jobs, and we've done like Hollywood gigs and Warner Brothers and like all those sort of things. And so there's times where we have interactions with those clients and like we need to show them that like, hey, we're legit. All right?
Right.
You're taken care of. Like, check our place out. Got the lobby, which was something that like I've always wanted. I've always wanted this like, you know, communal first thing you see when you walk in. There's an opportunity to buy some merch. You can sit and have a chat. There's like free beverages. So this was always really important for me to have.
It feels very official when you walk in having this, and it is welcoming.
Yeah. And we have a bathroom. Old shop didn't have a bathroom. We had a porta john.
Oh, really?
That's a major upgrade. We got a shower. Another thing that I didn't have at the prior place was an office. So I have a rad office. There's my degrees, by the way.
Look at your fucking white collarness on your blue collar wall.
Yeah, so UCSD was my undergrad. What did I do there? Bachelor's of Art, Urban Studies and Planning. I also got a minor in Environmental Studies.
It's hard for me to decide. Are you a blue collar man or a white collar man at this point?
I don't know. I work at a desk all day.
I mean, you have strong blue collar roots.
Yeah, my neck is red.
That's true. Your neck. Oh, wow,
It's
dude.
always
Jesus
red.
Christ.
It's literally just always red.
Oh, my God. You need to put sunscreen on, dude.
I do. It's still always red. And then here's my board collection. These are all boards that I've like gotten from, I don't know, just different gigs that we've worked or friends that I've worked with, or summer gifts, summer purchases, summer just different boards. Like everyone like kind of tells a story and like means something to me in one way or another. Got a signed Jack Black photo on my ramp.
That's pretty fucking epic.
Yeah. This is where we make things. That's the forklift. That's the panel saw. Here's some material. Here's some more material.
I mean, dude, even just like being in here and looking at the cleanliness and organization and upgrade of the, like, cause I went to the old shop when you were still there.
Yeah.
And even just being in here, it feels like I'm in a facility, not a shop.
Something I learned at the last place, dust collection. Dust collection.
Right.
You need dust collection if you're kicking up sawdust and cutting wood all day. So like we have a bunch of dust collection and everything's very clean, and we have the CNC and our tools are all organized and labeled. Like upon moving into this place, I did a ton of work. Like all these floors, I knocked down walls, I put in pillars.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did the floors in here.
It's all new plumbing, it's all new electrical, it's all new interior paint, exterior paint. Did this concrete, did this door, this big metal frame. Like we saw cut out this back so we could drive the forklift in. We redid all the fencing around it, put a new gate in the front. Like a lot of time and money and like construction went into this place to like get it to where it is. Built this back building,
Which is massive, storage and
other
things.
This back building is bigger than the old shop.
Major upgrade, dude. Oh yeah, and you own this place.
And yeah, I purchased this property, so I am my own landlord. An LLC that I am the president or manager of is the landlord to Keen Ramps. So Keen Ramps pays my LLC, which is good for, I guess, just future big boy moves. Got a bunch of backstock, flat bars, quarter pipes, boxes.
You have a full-fledged ramp with an extension back here.
Yeah, and it was Jack Black's ramp.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, this is the mini from Jack Black's house. So his ramp was 3.5 by 16, and then we only had 14, so we made it 14, and then we added a foot to it, and then we added an extension, and we got rid of the roll-in. But the bones of this is Jack Black's old ramp. We also have this other storage area that's all our like rental inventory and like old ramps. Backlog, I don't know, some quarter pipes, Van's job, Hellbomb stuff, a pink mini ramp. I'm standing on the Thrasher Deathmatch ramp. That's all Thrasher Deathmatch. Am Slam stuff, the Death Pocket Bones Love Milk stuff. So this is all just like the overflow storage. Here's how I got up here. All right.
Did that hurt?
No. Keen Ramps 2023. I can't wait for 2033. And the day I get to call this place a dump. I'm like, remember when we were slumming it? That little like 8,000 square foot property in Long Beach? Or maybe not. Maybe I'll be doing something else. Maybe this place is gonna massively fail and everyone's gonna call me an idiot. But nonetheless,
I think you're already past that.
Thanks for watching.